I can disprove the entire New Testament in about 45 seconds, and some of the stuff I just found out, it's crazy. It's going to blow your mind.
All right, let's see what he's got.
Number one, the New Testament was written 300 years after Jesus died.
Well, first of all, the New Testament is not a single book, it's a collection of writings, all of which most scholars, even the more liberal ones, date within the first century. Here's the end of the timeline of the New Testament. I can't show the whole thing, it won't fit, but most scholars have the book of Revelation being the last thing written around 95 to 96 AD.
Number two, there are 400,000 textual variations of the Bible, the New Testament.
So that's actually an estimated number, but the critical thing I want to point out here is what Bart Ehrman, a atheist critical scholar, says about the New Testament. In misquoting Jesus, he says, essential Christian beliefs are not affected by textual variants in the manuscript traditions of the New Testament. The reason being is most of them are just grammatical differences. They don't change what the text is actually communicating. And not to mention, textual variants are actually very important in preserving the scriptures. Because we have variants, we can see when someone comes along and tries to change something. The textual variants actually give us confidence in that the scriptures are preserved. This is unlike the Quran, which was standardized many years ago, and because of that, they got rid of many textual variants. So Muslims can't actually know if they have the right Quran because many of the variants have been done away with.
Number three, none of the authors, and I mean none of the authors of the New Testament met Jesus.
So this is something that's debated among modern scholars. However, all of the earliest evidence we have from the early church and the church fathers points to many of the books of the New Testament being written by people who knew Jesus, including his own brothers. The problem for the Muslim is that this is a double standard because the author of the Quran never met Jesus. So by this logic, everything the Quran says about Jesus is not trustworthy because it was written 600 years after Jesus' life by someone who never met him.
And number four, we know history tells us that the church changed the Bible. Like, it's a fact.
Once again, because of textual variants, the scriptures are actually guarded from this. For example, we see at the end of Mark that the last 11 verses were not in the earliest manuscripts. But the reason why you may find them in a lot of Bibles is because they don't actually affect the theology of Christianity.
And number five, the Trinity, which is the most important part in the Christian religion, guess what? Never, ever mentioned in the New Testament.
Yeah, that's just blatantly false. The word Trinity may not be in the New Testament, but we have examples of it all over the place, like 2 Corinthians 13:14.
Number six, you cannot prove me wrong.
Actually, I think you can, because I just did. Have a good day.